Hello everybody, and welcome back to Harvest Moon Tree of Tranquility. We are here on day 9. I slipped a clip in the beginning of this video of the dream I had with the Harvest Goddess after I went to bed, when we had talked to Hamilton and he told us the story and he was talking about the quilt and all of that. I actually got that clip off screen and I was quick enough to record it, so that will happen after that whole sequence of events takes place. Good morning, Nick. How have you been? I'm here because I wanted to tell you about tomorrow's flower festival. Oh, okay. Well, tell me all about it. Great. The flower festival is our time to celebrate flowers and plants. It's meant to remind us of how wonderful and beautiful nature can be. Well, you don't have to take it too seriously. I just want you to participate because it's a good chance for you to buy some rare items and to get acquainted with people in town. Alright, so we have a festival to go to tomorrow, and we also have some mail in our mailbox. And this is from Myra, which is kind of a redundant letter. We've already used her services, but I suppose if you've met her but you haven't found out what her purpose is, she'll just send you this letter letting you know that, hey, I can upgrade your tools and make accessories and help you with all of those things. So, okay, we're obviously going to start the day off with our watering. I think our potatoes are almost ready to go, but they probably need a day or two more. There's a couple of things I want to do in this video. The first of which is to correct a mistake that I had made earlier. I believe it was back in part 4. Yay, our watering can's level 2. Wonderful. As I was saying back, I think in about part 4 of the playthrough, I was going through this whole area here, talking about all the different plots of land. I did put an annotation on the screen, but for those of you who may have missed it or maybe don't remember, I mistook the seaside plot for the mountain plot. And the reason for that is because the mountain plot, you actually don't have the choice of living at first. I think because it's just the biggest and most spacious areas that you can choose from. So I was mistakenly calling this area the seaside plot, but this is actually the mountain plot. And the reason for that, obviously, is because this is the entrance to the mountain, which I also didn't show off, so I'm sorry about that. We can examine the area in front of the mountain, and right now we have no way of getting through there. So this area is available for purchase, but when you first start the game, we do not have the option of this area. So I'm actually going to show you the real seaside plot in just a moment here. I'm also going to be taking the time to speak to all of the wild animals that I've kind of been passing by to mark those on my map and maybe get a few pets moving in sooner or later. So in order to access the seaside plot, what you would do is go across the big bridge, and then you can see a very faint path leading down, and this is the seaside plot down here, as a matter of fact. So to be fair, this is extremely easy to miss. This is totally out of the way, and I can see why I missed it, but you still get a beautiful area to fish on as promised. The land is obviously a lot smaller, but it's pretty sizable. And this is kind of the nice, hidden, tucked away, scenic sort of area that you might want to live in, but it's also quite close to town and whatnot, so I just thought I would make that quick correction. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head up to the mining district, because I do believe that we can get that route taken care of once and for all. It's been a couple of days since we talked to Gil about the route, and so the next time we talk to Dale, he should bring up taking care of that route, blocking the path. As it stands, I also have enough money to upgrade a tool, but if I did that, I would be left with $145, which isn't quite enough for me to feel safe and secure in case I do need something else. So I'm going to try and raise my funds a little bit before I start to upgrade my tools to iron. And go ahead and just talk to everybody. Be a social butterfly. We're the new residents in town, so we should probably try and make friends. So as soon as we walk into the carpentry, we get a cutscene here with Dale. Gil's really pestering me about that root from the mother tree that's blocking the path. He's demanding that I cut it, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Oh no, Master, Luke is... What, Bo? What's going on? Luke is going to cut the root! What? I'm very impressed that he did it all with one swing. That's a pretty thick root. Hey, old man, impressive, huh? I chopped it apart with just one swing. Luke, what in the world have you done? What? Gil wanted this root cut because it was in the way, right? Problem solved. You know what this is? This is the root of the mother tree. What are you going to do if the harvest goddess gets upset? Oh, come on. The harvest goddess wouldn't hold a grudge like that. What's the point of taking care of a dried up old tree anyway? It'll never come back to life. Don't you think that means its work is done? Luke, you... Well, if she's really mad about it, she can come and spank me. Wow. Luke, you knew Master was struggling to make up his mind. Maybe it really is time for this tree to die and for a new seed to be planted in its place. So there we go. We've unlocked the shortcut, so we don't have to cut through 2 screens in order to get there. We can now just walk up the road past this plot of land, and we can take the shortcut right to the mining district, which is very nice. And I think if we talk to Luke and Dale and Gil again, we might get some additional dialogue, although I might have to wait a couple of days for that. But hey, at least you did what had to be done. The harvest goddess is really nice, right? Then she'll forgive me for cutting the root. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Well, if you say so, as long as you're not worried about bringing spite upon yourself, then I guess all is well. Obviously, the harvest goddess and all of that stuff is, I guess, sort of a religious thing, especially for people who have lived on the island for a long time and who saw the tree before it died. Obviously, it's a huge symbolic thing, so I guess I understand why he was having a hard time cutting down the tree. You don't want to make your deity angry with you. But this isn't that kind of game that we have to really worry about those kinds of things. So I'm sure everything is going to turn out fine, and it's great for me because that is a very, very helpful and very, very useful shortcut to have indeed. So I'm very happy about that. With the rest of my day, I don't really have a lot planned, so I figured I would just come down here and do a little bit of mining. We're not going to be able to visit Myra today because she is actually closed on Mondays, I do believe. So I can just take this iron ore back to my house. And I can get it refined at a later date. Obviously not going to be able to do much mining just because at this point, again, we're still using starter tools, and because of that we really lack the stamina necessary to make it far and to gather a lot of stuff. But also we have a small rucksack as well, so even if we had the stamina, we wouldn't have the room to pick up stuff. But this is a good way just to gather a few things for the shipping bin, to look around for ores that I may need, and to level up my tools as well. Because I can always ship these mushrooms and these toadstools. Even though the gold piece I picked up isn't sparkling, I can still ship that for a little bit of money. Every little bit counts, especially early on in the game, because we don't have any animals and things like that. We should start to get a little bit more money too as our crops start to grow. Like I said, our potatoes should be done any day now, and turnips don't take very long to grow either. So if I eat those, that actually boosts up my stamina quite a bit, and I could just keep going for a little while here. Iron isn't too difficult to find, and I don't find silver and gold difficult to find either. I actually find all of those a lot easier than finding copper, which is very frustrating because copper is the second level, and so sometimes I feel like I can't advance any further on to make silver or gold tools when I can't find any copper. And it is all just randomized, of course, so you just have to sort of be patient and do your best. So let's go ahead and ship those couple of items that I found. And unfortunately, since we are completely out of energy, it's going to be a bit of a slow walk back to our house, but we can now use that handy shortcut, and it will make getting back way faster. I don't have anything I can eat to make me go faster, unfortunately. Now, the other great thing about this shortcut is it brings us a little bit closer to the hot springs. So if you are in a slow walking mode like I am right now, or you just need a little bit of extra energy and it's going to take you a little while to get there, you are a little bit closer, which sort of helps. Even if I regain all of my stamina though, there's really not much else I can do today. I've watered all of my crops, I've done my mining. I suppose I could go back and do some mining. Maybe I could go and cut down a tree. I'm finding that cutting down a tree takes all of my stamina, so that might just be something to do just to gather a little bit of material. I could fish, but I find that fishing takes up a ton of stamina. And so I tend not to fish a lot until I get a better fishing rod. I'm able to upgrade it. But fishing is very self-explanatory, and if you do it enough, you can make a little bit of profit off of it as well. It took us so long to get here. The sun has gone down. But the good thing is, at least it fully recovers the stamina. It probably, honestly, at this point would have just been better off going home. Although, I should test something on video just to see if it'll work. I'm curious. What I want to know is if I can destroy rocks and chop down trees on other people's property. We saw that trying to use the hoe to till the soil in order to plant crops was impossible. We were not able to do that on land that wasn't our own, but I am curious if I could maybe chop down a tree. So let's just give this a couple of swings here. As you can see, it's taking a lot of stamina with every single swing, which is why I went ahead and upgraded all of my stamina, or I didn't upgrade it rather, but I rested to get it to full. And it looks like it does work. So, even though it takes almost your entire stamina bar at this low level to chop down one tree, you do harvest quite a bit of wood off of it. And it is good to know that I can do that a little bit closer to home if I don't feel like going to the woods in order to do that. So in theory, that should also work for boulders. I should be able to clear big rocks off of the other pieces of land around here if I want to as well. And it doesn't really matter what time you go to bed, as long as it's not too late. If I go to bed before midnight, I should still wake up at 6 o'clock with a decent amount of stamina. It's only when you go to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning and wake up at 6 that your energy bar isn't going to be completely filled. So that is it. When we go to sleep, we'll wake up on the 10th day of spring and we will be attending the Flower Festival, our first festival of the game, and we'll see what else tomorrow brings. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I'll see you next time.